In the news tonight, be concerned for well-being of alleged rape victim after she was taken to the minister's house by the police.
The investigation has to be conducted in a manner that it deals with what is in the best interest of the child. So why was Dharmlal there? And why is she without legal counsel?
And the church need to let their voices be heard, says two pastors.
I call upon the church and the wider religious community to snap out of its silence.
Concerns have been raised over allegations that the authorities are preventing the 16-year-old girl who accused the government minister Nigel Dharmlal of rape to access legal representative. Today, opposition member of parliament Amanza Walton Desir, addressing the issue, said the child should not have been taken to Dharmlal's house by the police in his presence.
This was my concern, that we would re-victimize the victim all over again. Why did Dharmlal have to be there? Who determined that that was in the best interest of the child? And mind you, in cases involving minors, the investigation has to be conducted in a manner that it deals with what is in the best interest of the child. So why was Dharmlal there? And why is she without legal counsel? Because I am advised that her family has been requesting legal counsel, but they're being told that there is a protocol involved. So as of 10 o'clock this morning, she had not had legal counsel. I am anticipating that that position will change in the next few hours, because you cannot have a 16-year-old girl going up against a system of known cops who are not above perverting the course of justice. I mean, there's enough evidence in the public space to warrant the kind of suspicion with which people are treating the Guyana police force. So Dharmlal should not have been there.
She said the teenager need to have support given the kind of person the minister is.
Let me say this. Those of us who sit in parliament opposite Nigel Dharmlal, we know how nasty and how crude he is. I can only imagine that when that young lady encountered him, he would be there smirking, because that is the kind of person that he is. And to expose this child to that, to not have her have legal counsel throughout this process. As Guyanese, we have to be outraged, man. We have to be outraged. And so I'm waiting with bated breath to see, because I am concerned that they're looking to find inconsistencies and to establish inconsistencies in her statement. I'm concerned that this is why the government seems to be buying time, because they probably want to rely on the police force to concoct some story to say, oh, he was cleared. But the Guyanese people are watching. They are watching. And I don't think that we are prepared to allow this to go down the drain. This is nonsense. Dharmlal has been accused of this once, twice, 3 times. And Irfan Ali is still content to have him sit as a member of his cabinet, albeit he is on administrative leave. What are we allowing?
Walton Desir was speaking on the sideline of the demonstration in front of the office of the president today. The teenager was taken to the minister's home in the city where the alleged rape occurred by members of the Guyana Police Force. Up to late this afternoon, the teenager was still not able to speak with an attorney as she requested. According to a statement from the police late this afternoon, all standard operating procedures were followed in the conduct of this investigation. At no time whatsoever was any of the minors involved in this investigation questioned in the absence of a parent and a welfare officer. More importantly, at the time the virtual complainant walked investigators through the alleged crime scene under the supervision of a superintendent of police, the accused was not present since he had already left, as he was instructed to do by the investigators. Finally, at no time did the virtual complainant or her parents make any request to the police for any attorney at law to be present. At all times, the virtual complainant and her parents were in the presence and hearing of the child care officer, and this fact can also be corroborated by her.
don't like it from the first time. When you see the two, they combine. It's a drink and taste, you will never decline. Extra lemon and lime. It's the two combined. It's one of a kind. Extra lemon and lime. Extra lemon and lime. Taste the citrus in every sip.
Team Extra and the one-man bands present the band's birthday. Celebrating 30 years of one-man band in Guyana. 10 of the best one-man bands all across Guyana and New York for one night, one stage on Saturday the 24th of June 2023 at the National Park. Side attraction, Granny performs live. Dancing competition, walls 30,000, dance hall 30,000. The oldest couple at the party wins $30,000. Early bird $1,500. Wow, stocks last. Ticket location, White Castle Fish Shop, Just Your Size Boutique, Orange Walk, Fireside Grill, Highway Cafe, Suicide Junction, and Extra Beer, Stabic Market location. Compliments of Fireside Grill and Chill and Extra Beer. The band's birthday.
I'm Anshul. I'm the manager over here at Brooklyn Institute of Vocational Training. We provide home health aid training here. For that, we have flexible classes, which includes morning, evening, and the weekend class. You can choose any class, whichever is convenient for you. Also, this career is now at the peak. This career pay rate increases from 1909 till up to 2109 now. I speak different languages, which includes Hindi, Punjabi, Urdu, Bangla, and our certificate is recognized all over the New York because we are licensed from Board of Education. Once you graduated from our school, you can work with any agency anywhere in New York. Our address is 110-05 Liberty Avenue, Queens. Guys, I know the name is Brooklyn Institute, but we are located in Queens. I repeat the address, 110-05 Liberty Avenue, Queens. 11419 is our zip code, and my number is 929-386-0092. If you have any questions, you can always call me, and I will be happy to answer all your questions. Don't forget to check our website, www.mybrooklyninstitute.com. Come join our school and get home health aid certificate, as we like to believe changing lives one student at a time.
Running late and can't wait to the gate? We got you. The Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union Limited has introduced a fast and easier way to make payments to your accounts through the GT&T mobile money services. Here's how. Click on the MMG app. Under Services, select Pay Bills. When you are there, look for the Financial Institution option. Once that is done, select Guyana Public Service Cooperative Credit Union Limited to pay your loan or make payments to your savings. Payments to the credit union made easier. GPS CCU, the credit union you can bank on.
Calls are pouring in for a thorough investigation into the rape allegations leveled against the local government minister Nigel Darmlal. Today, two senior pastors, Reverend Leander Warren of the Guyana Congregational Union of Churches and Pastor Lawrence Haywood of the Bethel Gospel Hall Church, added their voices to the matter. Speaking in their personal capacities, Reverend Warren called for an impartial, unimpeded and thorough investigation into the matter and for the church to lift their voices.
I call upon the church and the wider religious community to snap out of its silence, its indifference, and join the advocacy campaign in order that truth be established and justice delivered. Remember, it was the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. who warned, and I paraphrase, that when the good remains silent, evil thrives. I also call upon the religious community and the general Guyanese public to establish safe spaces, put up guardrails to to ensure the safety and security of our children so that they can grow up and enjoy the privileges of childhood and not live in fear of the adults around them. I challenge us to stand up now for the rights and protection of our children.
Meanwhile, Pastor Haywood said that children are gifts and are precious treasures from God that are to be protected.
We have, I don't want to say a crisis on our hands overall, but it may well be that in terms of ensuring that power, for instance, is used for service and protection, used to protect the vulnerable. Whether we call them aliens, we have a lot of migrants in our midst, whether we call them strangers, widows, orphans, the entire indigenous community, or First Peoples, Amerindians as we used to say, and in particular, wherever they are, in whatever of the regions, our children, boy children as we used to say, as well as, and particularly, girls. A very high retired functionary from the army referred to some folk against the backdrop of recent events as LGEs, and he wasn't speaking of local government elections. He was speaking of people who are little girl exterminators, people who seem to see those who should be nourished and nurtured and protected as easy prey, easy pickings. We need to stop that as a nation. We need to ensure that our children, whether in the education system, whether in the transportation system, whether in the communities in which they live, however described, however resourced or underserved, that they are recognized as a treasure.
He said the church has a role in the process of mentoring, modeling, and motivating the young.
Imparting to them virtues and values should be priority areas for the church in whatever ways is discharged, in whatever ministries, whatever the interventions. We should be the people modeling. We should be people motivating. We should be the people mentoring, along with families, of course. It need not be said. If we are shepherds, then there should not be butchers in our midst. There should not be people using the cloth, the cloak of the clergy, position to misuse and abuse authority, as happens and has happened in other sectors and should be stopped. We should be involved in helping with parenting.
The embattled government minister Nigel Darmlell was arrested, charged, and released on $1 million station bail. The rape allegations against the minister are currently under investigations. For these and other stories, do visit us at our website www.rdproductiongy.com.